Never let your Parmesan rinds go to waste. The hard ends of this aged, nutty flavored cheese makes for an absolutely delicious broth. If you were to look into my freezer or my refrigerator right now, you'd probably think I have a Parmesan cheese obsession, and you would be right, because I keep a ton of it on hand. Like many other cooks, it's just that one ingredient that you always need, whether you're just sprinkling it over pasta, obviously making Parmesan Crisp. It's so good and you just want to keep it on hand. But once you use all of your Parmesan, once you have that little rind bit left, do not throw it away. It makes the most delicious broth. And if you stick around, I'm going to tell you how to do it. Seriously, this broth is so good. It's good just to sip it on its own. But as your soup stock or in your risotto, it is awesome. Now, I will tell you that I do save my rinds all year long. I just drop them into a Ziploc baggie and I keep them in the freezer so that I can make this great broth anytime I want it. If you don't have it and you want to make it, which I think you should, go to your grocery store, your cheesemonger, anything like that. You can find them already prepackaged. And if they don't, ask them if they have them, because most of the time they'll keep them behind the counter and they'll give them to you. And if you're almost down to the end of it and you're not quite to the rind, just grate it and make some Parmesan Crisp. I'll show you how to do it. They are a great treat to eat while you wait for your broth to simmer. So let me show you how to make the crisp and I'll show you how to make the broth. Cut 1 head of garlic in half, then quarter and peel 1 yellow onion. Then in a large Dutch oven or a heavy pot, heat 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil over a medium-high heat. Once it's hot, add the head of garlic flat side down and the onion quarters. Cook until they're lightly brown, about 4 to 5 minutes. Then add a few sprigs of thyme, a bay leaf or 2, a handful of parsley, and 2 teaspoons of whole black peppercorns. Pour in 1 cup of dry white wine and scrape up any brown bits that have accumulated in the pot. Simmer until the wine is reduced by half, then add 6 to 8 Parmesan rinds and 8 cups of water. And just one note on wine. As the late, great James Beard once said, the only wine to cook with is the one that you drink. And since we're using 1 cup, you want to use a good wine. It'll impart a great flavor and you can have the rest later. Simmer for about 2 hours and make sure you stir every so often so that the rinds don't stick to the bottom of the pot. While that's simmering, let me show you how to make Parmesan Crisp. Preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit and grate 1 cup of Parmesan. Line a baking sheet with parchment paper and place 1/4 cup mounds of the cheese onto the parchment paper. Make sure that you allow room for them to spread out. Then top each mound with some freshly cracked pepper. Place them in the oven and bake for 10 minutes. Once they're done, remove them from the oven and allow them to cool just until they're warm. Then remove them with a metal spatula and place them on a cooling rack until they're ready to eat. Oh my gosh, these are so good. I absolutely love these, especially with that little crack of pepper. I'm going to finish this up and then I'm going to show you how we finish off the broth. Now that the broth has had time to simmer, pour it through a sieve that's been lined with a cheesecloth and allow it to cool until you're ready to use, or you can store it in the refrigerator for up to 1 week. But if you want to use it right away, I can show you how to make a really quick and easy tortellini soup. In a stock pot, heat 1 tablespoon of olive oil over a medium-high heat. Add 1 small onion that's been diced and saute it for 5 minutes. Add 3 cloves of minced garlic. Cook them and stir for 1 minute longer. Make sure you don't burn your garlic. Then stir in 1 can of fire-roasted diced tomatoes with their juices, plus 5 cups of your Parmesan broth. Sprinkle in 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, 1 teaspoon of dried basil, and a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Bring it to a gentle boil, add your tortellini, I usually just use 1 bag, and bring it to a gentle simmer. Let it simmer uncovered until the tortellini are tender, about 5 to 7 minutes. Then stir in big handfuls of fresh baby spinach. Allow it to wilt slightly and then serve it in a bowl with freshly grated Parmesan and some cracked pepper. For the Parmesan broth, I decided that I was going to use a Pinot Grigio. It's a nice, bright wine that's really good with this soup, and since I had it open, I decided to just go ahead and serve it with dinner. And there you have it. Let me know what you think. If you also hoard your Parmesan rinds, leave me a comment below. And if you like to exploit everyday pantry items for awesome recipes, then don't forget to subscribe. You can hit that bell below and you won't miss a thing. Until next time.